Hi, this is James with Be Prepared Homestead. I just thought I'd show everyone the progress I made this year pertaining to the garden. So I did a few things different as I learned. One of the things last year that was very time consuming was the weeding of the garden. So this year I got material. That way I don't have to climb around on my knees trying to pull the weeds, because the weeds do sap a lot of the nutrients that you want to go to your plants that you're growing for food. So I'll show you what I did. Man, I'll tell you what, you can see, I don't know if you can see it here, but boy, they are aerosolizing the sky over me today. Last time they did this at this magnitude, my chickens stopped laying for almost a month and a half. So I know a lot of people said it was in the feed. I'm not sure about that, because I wasn't using Tractor Supply feed. I was using feed that was from a local person, and mine still stopped laying. So I think it was something to do with what they were spraying in the skies, honestly. That's just my opinion. So here's the latest progression to the chickens. Down here is Pyle. He runs around outside. My wife hates him. Over here is the hen house. This is where they sleep at night. They have a little door over there. They go in and out, and I close it at night. This is the run that they're in. These are leghorns or leghorns, however you want to pronounce it. I keep these guys in this enclosed area. They're my egg chickens. So these are the ones that I get eggs from. That's Sergeant right there. He's the rooster that's in charge in this particular pen. Out here, these are more free range type chickens. They're the meat chickens. These guys get nice and fat. They are overlooked by Pyle, who really isn't a very good caretaking rooster like Sarge. He comes out and pigs all the food down himself and doesn't let the ladies know that there's food available. He's just a complete hog and not much of a gentleman. I put fencing in around my garden this go around. So my garden's got a pretty large fence around its perimeter. When you go in, I put this little gate here. It's really to keep him out of the garden once things start to grow, but he can get in anyways. I mean, he can hop over all sorts of stuff. The garden itself, this is part of it right here. I'm gonna have, well, right there you see there's garlic coming in, and then also I just got onions down over here, and then over there there's some more garlic. I'll zoom in on it. Coming in, and also some additional onions coming in. I just got the potatoes down over here. These bags that you see all along here are sorry, I don't mean to say a lot, it's just that's how I talk, unfortunately. But these are the potatoes that I started. All those bags right there are potatoes. So everything from red potatoes to just the standard Idaho Baker type potato. These are some of the quail. These are my little white quail. I'll be increasing their numbers soon. They're real cute. I like them. They're sweet quail, but then they're tasty too. So this is the main garden, and in here I'll have everything from tomatoes to asparagus beans to eggplant and zucchini growing. Out beyond this, if you look, I have a couple of other areas that are fenced off over here and over here, and I'll have in that area right there watermelon growing. Not sure what I'll be putting in there. This area in between right here that you see, where you've got this fence and then the fence right out there, this is a whole area I made for the chickens. So the meat chickens have a run that they can move around in. They have this whole area that they can forage. So they're foraging chickens, the ones that I eat. I do give them a little breakfast in the morning, but for the most part, their job is to get out here and clean up the bugs around the garden, make sure that things aren't coming through to get at the plants. I mean, stuff will anyways, but but they're extra layer of protection and saves a little bit on the chicken feed, because chicken feed is expensive. It adds up real quick. My chickens right now, you know, with what I've got right here, they go through about 100 pounds of food every month. So I added these to the homestead as well. That's a large water container, as is this. So, and they are filled. This is 250 gallons of water. This is another no, not 200. I think this is like 50 gallons of water, 55. So these are just in case, you know, we ever have drought or an emergency. Let me step back so you can see this one. I've got some spare water, you know, to be able to water the garden or give the animals water, things like that, or worst case scenario for me too. So I just thought I would show the garden off. Not that there's much growing in it yet. You know, we're not even into spring, but I do have a lot of seeds down, not in here yet. I started them over in the greenhouse, and then once they sprout up, and I know we're through the hopefully the last frost. Last year I thought we were, and I put stuff down, and then lo and behold, we had a hard freeze not even 2 weeks afterwards. So and I lost all my cucumbers last year to that. So you never know. I mean, you can assume that you're through the worst part of winter, you know, and you're moving into spring, and then, you know, Jack Frost will rear his ugly head and show you he's not over yet. But this is the homestead now. So I've spent a lot of work clearing out this area, and I'll continue expanding outwards into the back area. I'm going to try to turn that more into an orchard out there with different types of fruiting trees, maybe even all the way in the back a pecan tree, since they grow so well in this area. The quail, they're doing a lot better. You can see I have a lot of them in here now. I'll be culling out the males real soon because there's too many males in here. They're going to end up in the freezer, and then focus on, you know, keeping a few of the roosters in here, and then for the most part females. I'll keep like 2 or 3 males in here. They do fight, but when you have them in an aviary like this, then they have enough room to escape each other and enough, you know, area to get away where they're not constantly, you know, tearing each other apart. But if you keep quail in the smaller container type bins that you see most people raising their quail in, your males are going to tear themselves apart. They fight. They're just as bad as a rooster, a chicken rooster. So they will fight, and literally, you know, eventually one will kill the other one. They'll tear their head, you know, all the flesh off the top of their heads off. So you got to really watch that. That's why I went away from having them in the pens and moved into an aviary like this. The blue box like things that you see, these are for when it gets cold. If I know it's going to go down below 25 degrees, then I'll get in here and collect them and pop them in there until we get through the cold snap, because these little guys, they'll survive 25 degrees out in the environment, but from my experience this last winter, every time it went under 25 degrees, I would come out and find, you know, at least one dead quail. And so I put them in there. They're more, you know, combined together. They keep themselves warmer, and that way I don't have one that dies from exposure. So, and it's winter time, and during the winter they're not in their aggressive mating mode, not spring yet. So the males, you know, even though there's a lot of males in here right now, they're not fighting, but they will be real soon. You know, I'm probably 3 or 4 weeks out from the males starting to get their attitude again. With these quail, and again, these little guys, these are Coturnix quails. They're the ones that get the biggest. They're really good tasting. They're a good food source. They grow fast. The females, they lay constantly. They do stop laying though, at least mine did, for winter time. So after we got to the point where we got short days and it was getting dark, they just all stopped laying. So I reckon they'll be starting, soon. I should start seeing eggs again. I tried putting the light in to see if we could get eggs that way, and I did get a few doing it that way, but it just seemed like it was throwing them all out of sync. So I'm like, all right, we'll just hold off on the quail eggs until, we get back to the right season for them to be laying. But if you want to have an egg and a meat source, and you live in like the suburbs or the city, quail are one of those birds that you can have a few out on your back porch and no one would even know you have them out there, especially if they're just hens. The little males, they do have their own little crow, but it's not annoying like a rooster's crow. So just wanted to show everybody. I haven't made a video in a while as to what I've been up to, and this is what I've been doing. I've just been getting prepared for the spring garden. I've got things in the freeze dryer going right now. In fact, I'm freeze drying okra is what I'm freeze drying. I'm trying to get my freezer cleared of all last year's vegetables, so I'm trying to clear it out so that I'll have room for this year. I had a real successful garden this last year. I didn't realize I was going to get as much as I got. I was overwhelmed with the amount of food that I had coming in, and I didn't want to waste any of it. So you would think that a lot of the work goes into just getting the garden laid down, which it is. There's a lot of work. You got to till it, pull the roots out, treat it. Like this garden here, this year alone, I put in, right in this area, 20 pounds of chicken manure this year was tilled into it. 20 gallons, not pounds, 20 gallons of chicken manure was tilled into it. Plus I have these worm composters. The worms actually create something called worm tea, which is very, very good for plants. So I put several gallons of that out into this after I tilled it and trenched it out, so that the trenches all have really healthy microorganisms growing in them. So I'm expecting this year to have even a better yield and a better garden than last year. Your soil is the most important part of gardening. You have to really, really work your soil. You got to make sure that you're putting in a lot of nutrients if you want to get, good results. If you want big vegetables need, lots of nutrients in the soil to grow. So that being said, just reminding everybody, times are really, really, really starting to get strange. There's a lot of things out there that can happen. So, be prepared, get yourself some extra stuff. Make sure you got 3 months worth of food, 3 months worth of water. Don't have all your money in the bank. Pull a little out, put it in your pillowcase or in a safe if you have one at home. Just little things like that, just in case something happens. You'll be prepared. You're not one of the people that are left staring at the wall not knowing what to do if the crap hits the fan. So you all have a great day. My love out to all my family and friends. Y'all take care. Bye.